Yo, welcome back to the Jam Podcast. I'm Miller.
I'm Gav.
And today we're going to be talking about a couple things. But first off, we're going to be talking about Georgia at Alabama. 34-41. Alabama comes out with the victory. The comeback didn't happen. But what are your initial reactions on this game?
Yeah. So, Jalen Milroe is a dog. 27 for 33 passing.
College dog.
Yeah, college dog. I know you're not high on him as an NFL prospect at all.
At all.
I definitely think he has to sit right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, 27 for 33, 374 yards, two passing touchdowns. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
He's impressive. He played great today.
And DeBoer's offensive scheme with all the motions involved.
117 rushing yards, by the way, is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Along with those 374 yards.
Crazy.
He had a great fantasy day.
Great fantasy day. Ryan Williams, 6 catches, 177 yards, and a touchdown.
I mean, the game-winning touchdown.
He's 17 years old. He's supposed to be in third period science class.
Yeah.
With high school kids.
Yeah.
And he's dominating at Alabama as a freshman. Like we haven't.
It's impressive, and it's really his skill with the ball in his hands. Also at the catch point, it felt like this whole game it was just deep shots the whole game. Let's see who can win between the corner and receiver, and it was a pretty even distribution. I'd say more on the Alabama side with the receivers.
Yeah.
But yeah, what'd you feel about Georgia on this game?
Yeah. So I keep hearing Carson Beck first round. I'm tired of hearing it.
Yeah.
Like, I've said this all along. I get Daniel Jones vibes. I'm going to say this right now. I saw this the other day, and I agree with it. If Carson Beck was on Colorado, they would have 0 wins right now.
Yeah.
There was a lot of throws and interceptions and turnovers that were just bad tonight.
You can't make.
You can't make. A lot of throws. I mean, that deep ball that Kirby Smart wanted to pass interference at the end of the game, you had him beat.
Yeah.
And you underthrew him.
Yeah. 100%.
Like he had to do beat.
That's a game winning throw that you need to execute.
And it's just a go route.
Yeah.
It's just a go route. You beat him.
Those are the throws that Shedeur has shown that he can make. Repeatedly.
I mean, Carson Beck couldn't make that throw. He put it in a bucket against Baylor.
Yeah.
Like there's just levels to this. Honestly.
There's levels.
There's literally levels. ETN though, he's gonna be good in the NFL.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah.
Georgia's receivers were not impressive. No. I wasn't
very
impressed with their passing game whatsoever. Their tight end number 4 wasn't impressed with him. It just seems like either it's a mistake by Beck or it's a mistake by one of the receivers. But it's always something. They weren't on the same page tonight, and I think it's a testament to Kirby Smart and that run defense that they stayed in this game just based off those two things alone.
For sure.
Because Alabama was still pressing in the second half because they couldn't run the ball because Georgia shut that down. But Georgia has some things to work on.
For sure.
Alabama has some things to work on. And right now, I think Tennessee is the best team in the SEC.
That's fair to say.
Well, Texas is there too. But yeah, Tennessee has easily looked like the best
I saw
team
from Bama though.
Bama
like
didn't,
second half obviously, but I feel like a lot of teams in that situation would have slowed down, tried to run the ball. You know what I mean?
But they didn't.
You're obviously not as aggressive. But the moment they needed to turn it back on, I mean, Ryan Williams goes, makes some plays, they go take the lead. So I think not a lot of teams in the country go down and go win that first play on the next drive. I just don't think a lot of teams go do that. I think
what I saw is it didn't impress me a lot because I think I already knew what they had. I think I already knew Jalen Milroe could get out the pocket and play kind of out of structure. I think I already knew that these receivers, I think one, they have dominant skill guys.
Yeah,
and that's what they showed today.
The most impressive part was Jalen Milroe's passing today.
Yeah, for sure.
He showed in a college game, like I know,
great completion percentage. By the way.
27 for 33.
Yeah.
I mean, he made the throws he had to make to win this game.
What we can obviously is he outplayed Carson Beck.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, he outplayed Carson Beck.
Yeah,
and I keep hearing Carson Beck as a first round guy. Just off the top of my head, I think he would be third string at Texas.
Yeah.
Shedeur's better than him. Nico's better than him. Miami.
Quinn Ewers, Cam Ward,
Raiola.
Ooh, I don't know about Raiola.
You don't know about Raiola?
Not yet.
I like Raiola.
I like Raiola though.
Okay.
Freshman quarterback.
You get what I'm saying though? Like I'm thinking 4th round, 5th. I don't know.
I mean, he still might be a first-round quarterback is what you have to understand. Like, these quarterbacks
Or younger.
Like, J.J. McCarthy was drafted last year. I didn't think J.J. McCarthy was that much better than Carson Beck is right now. Did you think J.J. McCarthy was that guy in college?
I didn't think he was that guy, but I do think he was. I mean, just off tonight, I thought he was smarter with the ball. Dang.
Well, I can find a J.J. McCarthy game in college where he looked just like that.
You think?
Yeah, for sure.
3? 4 turnovers?
J.J. McCarthy?
4?
Bro, I don't know. Maybe in the league, the demand for quarterback was higher.
Yeah.
In the draft last year, so he might not be number one ready. And I don't think he's a great quarterback either. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I don't know. I've seen a lot of first round guys that I didn't think were great.
Yeah.
Who were the top 3 last? Drake May. And Michael Penix got drafted high as well. And I think Michael Penix is good, but
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm just like I said, I'm not a Carson Beck guy. I've never been a fan of 9 times out of 10. Obviously, you have your Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
You have your Tua, who you're not a big fan of.
No, never been.
I haven't really been a fan of the quarterbacks at Georgia and Alabama most of the time who are throwing to
the only ones that work out.
You know what I mean?
The only ones that work out, in my opinion, and this is going to go against my logic, but the only ones that work out are the ones who are in that system that can still play out of structure. Every single pocket quarterback that comes from
Mac Jones, AJ McCarron,
they never work out.
Yeah,
they never work out because the system is right there for them. Their system is in place. They know exactly what to do, so it's not hard to make those reads with the best receivers in the nation. Yeah. When you can play out of structure, and I think college football, at least at the top end, and those top 5 kind of teams, it's been more close recently.
What does that not give you any hope for Jalen Milroe?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, okay.
But as a passer, I do think he's extremely less gifted than even Lamar was coming out. Jalen Hurts was, because Jalen Hurts, out of those 3, was probably the most. This is crazy to say. Yeah. Because he definitely wasn't the best. Because Lamar was the best prospect coming out. Yeah. But as a passer, Jalen Hurts was probably coming out of Oklahoma was the best passer. And
my thing is, I don't know. Like I said, I've never been a fan. I mean, even like Tua's. I would love to see what Tua is without Tyreek Hill, Waddle, Achane, and Mostert.
Bro, people have been giving Tua a pass for a long time, and I've never understood.
I mean, that's some speed on that.
Bro,
team.
he's been gifted a great supporting cast since the day he stepped into the league, and he has. I don't know. Some of these guys, we have to start weighing the flaws and the upside. Tua's flaws was that he was small and he couldn't play out of structure. His pros was that he's an accurate passer. Yeah. But how often can he make these accurate passes if he can't create out of structure when the defense is in his face? If he's 5'10" and can't see over the line and can't be accurate. I mean, you got to think about stuff like that.
With the roster you put around him, you have to win. I'm sorry. That's just what it is.
Exactly. That's a great roster they have, and Miami has been the same as always. But
that's really all I have to say.
Yeah, let's get into your speed question.
All right. So my one speed question is: who is your favorite to win the national championship?
Tennessee. I'm gonna go with the best quarterback. Simple as that. It's tough because it's crazy. I can't envision Tennessee winning a national championship. Yeah, but like I said, bro, they look dominant.
They look dominant, but I think Nico showed me some youth in that Oklahoma game. Yeah, and I just have a weird feeling in the college football playoff he just might. Yeah, but I think the same thing with Arch.
I'll be real though. I don't see a real dominant team though, like a extremely dominant team.
No. Ole Miss was pretty dominant before today.
But yeah, there's just in the quarterbacks in the SEC. The SEC quarterbacks aren't.
Yeah, that's why ACC is very interesting. I want to know who gets in because I've seen some teams that have one loss. That
by the way, Virginia Tech should have won that game yesterday, and I'll stand on that. And I know you don't think so, but
you have your. Well, I don't. I'd really want to ask the refs which catch they called a touchdown. The second one isn't. The first one is a touchdown.
Yeah, that's, and I think that's what they call.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's just Like I'd have to watch it live and see when they blew the whistle and did this. But regardless, I like Boston College with Bill O'Brien. Not to win a national championship, but I'm saying the ACC is very interesting for me. Yeah, but to win a national championship right now, history tells the past history, especially talking to Coach Curry, I don't know. Texas will just lose. I don't know why.
They'll lose at some point.
I don't know. And it could be the national championship, but I just think Texas will lose.
Completely agree.
Low-key, same thing with Tennessee. I think DeBoer is going to get over the hump. I think Alabama will win the national championship. But if Alabama faces Georgia again, I would take Georgia. Off. Maybe they figured out that Milroe run game to an extent, so maybe you hold them to like 100 yards or something.
Those teams are just so athletic, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's literally, in my opinion, that's why they win games. It's not pretty football. Like, the SEC isn't the prettiest football I watch. And it's just the most hard-nosed, the bigger guys.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing at all. But it's tough because you obviously got Ohio State, who probably will not come out battle-tested at all. I mean, obviously, but Michigan is tough.
I mean, we didn't think Michigan was that battle-tested last year.
Right, but the teams that they were playing, that they ended up playing in that well, Alabama wasn't bad last year, but I felt like they were still. I didn't think that was the toughest matchup.
Yeah,
and then they played TCU and TCU wasn't that. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough.
Who played TCU?
Michigan did, right?
No, Washington. They played the board.
Oh, Michigan and Washington. Yeah, my fault. I said TCU because it's purple.
Yeah. They played the board.
I don't know. I don't know. All right, so let's get into something else we need to talk about.
Okay.
Karl Anthony Towns trade.
Okay.
Karl Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks for Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and I think a pick. Maybe a pick.
I'm not tripping off that.
I don't know, but I just want to know your
I'm
thoughts.
not a fan for either team because you're kind of backtracking on. So I want to know how the spacing works in Minnesota now. I mean, DiVincenzo can shoot the ball. I like that off the bench. But that goes against trading up for Rob Dillingham. I feel like that goes against that move.
Yeah.
Because as a rookie, you're probably going to take DiVincenzo in a playoff game over Rob Dillingham.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully Rob becomes a star, but as a rookie, you don't know, you know? Because Rob needs the ball in his hand. You know what I mean?
You're also facing some security, or you have some security now, though. With Mike Conley and Rob, we're talking about. That's 4 good guards.
Another thing is, you're taking a risk. Randall has a player option after this year.
Yeah.
I don't know how your spacing is going to work. You have a Rudy Gobert, Julius Randle front court.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. From the Knicks side, I don't know if Randall was willing to play the 5, so maybe that's what you're thinking is. You lose DiVincenzo, who's great shooter off the bench, key player. And Karl Anthony Towns, probably one of the best, him or Porzingis, best shooting big mans in the league.
Yeah.
But I don't like the loss of DiVincenzo. I think that's very, like, I think that's, people aren't talking about that enough. He's a key player. He had a lot of big shots in that Sixers series.
Yeah, he did.
A lot of big shots. Personally, I don't hate it for the Knicks as much as I do the Timberwolves. And I know you might not like that, but I'm not a fan of Karl Anthony Towns on this Knicks team because it might, I don't know, I'm not going to say, it might go against their identity in a sense, but maybe it's a good fit, you know?
Yeah.
One thing I'll say is people all over social media have been saying this is the best starting 5, this is the best starting 5 in the NBA. It's not top 3, and we can go matchup for matchup. The Celtics, the only matchup I think they win might be Brunson.
And Cat.
I'd love to see Cat and Porzingis go at it.
Is that what we saying now?
I think so. I don't think people understand Porzingis when healthy, how elite shot blocker.
Man,
their numbers are damn near identical.
That's where Cat want to be.
Their numbers are almost identical.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, Porzingis 7'3". I'd take him as a shot blocker probably.
Yeah.
Cat's a bigger guy. Probably can play the 4 a little bit as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe Cat a little bit. But you know, I'm taking Tatum over Mikal Bridges. I'm taking Jaylen Brown over Josh Hart.
Yeah.
I'm taking. I don't know.
OG and. Oh yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it could be Al.
Yeah.
It could be.
But for me, I like the trade for both sides.
You do?
And it for me it was tough at first, and I think emotionally it was just getting away. I think I wanted to see the Nova 4.
I did.
I think everybody did. I think Karl Anthony Towns has been in Minnesota so long that it's just like, wow, you kind of wanted to see him and running back kind of one more time because it was their first time last year. Yeah. It was their first time really being one of those great teams. So emotionally, I was like, dang, I didn't really want to see this happen. But let's think about it. Let's be real here. The Knicks didn't have a big. The Knicks, I've been saying this, I feel like they needed to flip Julius Randle immediately. And they got a pretty good player out of it, a high ceiling player who in some games you're probably going to need a guy like that.
Okay.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, I don't hate it as much.
And he's going to be able to play the 5. And for fit, you obviously got rid of some depth. But who knew if Julius Randle was going to be there in the first place? Who knew if Julius Randle was going to be productive in the first place?
Yeah.
And
there was a lot of questions.
There's no doubt that Dante is a loss. But Karl Anthony Towns is a better basketball player than Dante DiVincenzo. Unfortunately, he's more talented. He's bigger. He's
better. He's just better. He's a better shooter almost.
On the Timberwolves side, you have Naz Reid that can now step into that role a little bit. Julius Randle, I think Julius Randle's a good fit for this team. He's another hard-nosed guy that'll guard.
I just don't know about the spacing when you play teams that can shoot the 3 ball very well because Anthony Edwards.
But what was Karl Anthony Towns doing for spacing that was so much better than Julius Randle?
He's an elite 3-point shooter. He's the best 3-point shooting big man in the NBA.
Until he's not.
But he is, though.
And Julius Randle is not the worst 3-point shooter.
He's not the worst,
if we're doing that, because they both shrink in clutch time. Julius and Karl Anthony Towns.
From a shooting, I'm talking about spacing.
But Julius Randle ain't a bad shooter in the regular season either.
He's not a bad shooter, but you're living with a Julius Randle 3. I don't think you're living with
But you're not living with a Julius Randle 3.
In the playoffs, I think you're living with a Julius Randle with a short closeout. You're living with a Julius Randle 3.
Okay, and if they go that route, okay, wrong. But I don't think they'll figure out during the playoffs that that's not the role he'll be having. They'll have Dante out there. They'll have Anthony Edwards. They might even go small ball.
And it's not about Randall. It's
about Rudy Gobert. He needs to go.
Boom. Rudy Gobert, I would love to see Cat and Randall side by side. Would you not have loved to see that?
I like, but that's my point though.
And the Knicks lost Hartenstein. So if you want a rim protector,
that's the first mistake the Knicks made. They let go of Hartenstein before they let go of Anunoby.
What if you got Rudy? I hate Rudy, but you get what I'm saying? That they would get a big man back.
Yeah. Rudy shouldn't be in the league, though, is what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I can't even give you that one.
Yeah.
It's the point, if Julius Randle plays with Naz Reid and then you have Dante DiVincenzo, Anthony Edwards, fill in the last guy, McDaniels.
No, I love Randle at the 4 and Cat at the 5. I love that lineup.
But you don't like Naz Reid at the 5 as well? Because Naz Reid was playing.
But are they going to do that, though?
They're going to have to.
Well, they're going to do it, but I'm saying, as a 6-man, he's still going to be 6-man.
Yeah. But Rudy Gobert in the regular season, as much as I hate to say it, that defense is going to be good again because he is anchoring in it.
I don't care about the regular season. I'm not saying they're going to be bad.
Hopefully he has the trigger of the French coach the French coach and just been like, okay, he's not the guy. He's not the guy to be on this court right now. What year of his contract is he on?
My thing is there's a lot of teams that Rudy Gobert, for some reason, Rudy Gobert has a lot of value to certain teams.
Yeah.
And that is a trade asset that I would throw on the market.
But if you're the Knicks, you want Rudy Gobert? Is that what you're saying? You want would that have been a better fit than Karl Anthony Towns?
I think you could have kept DiVincenzo.
But I'm not going out my way as a winning franchise to pick up Rudy Gobert. I can't do that. I'm not doing that.
Nah, I just think if you get rid of Hartenstein, that would be I don't know.
But like I was saying, Dante DiVincenzo is only going to help this team, and it creates more depth.
It helps the team a lot. But does that not backtrack on the pickup with Rob?
No. Rob, it's okay if Rob sits a little bit.
I don't like that for his development. I think he could be a star.
All right, it's close to home, but I think he could be a star too. But it doesn't have to be. It don't have to be rushed in a year. And this he still has to work on his game. He can still be developed, and he could be traded. He could be put in a position to where someone wants this guy, and he could be in that situation. And if he steps up, and if he's that guy that you're talking about, he can fit in right now. He'll fit over Conley right now. That's why I'm not mad at the move. I think that creates way more depth. And Julius Randle, I'm sorry, he's not that much worse of a player than Karl Anthony Towns. And I don't like either one of them.
I don't love either one of them. I just don't like from what I saw with Julius Randle in the playoffs with the Knicks. For sure. I don't like the spacing at all that he brings because he's ball dominant in the post. But why? And it's not a dominance thing.
But why is the spacing an issue when you still have Naz Reid, Anthony Edwards, Dante DiVincenzo, Mike Conley, who shot lights out from 3, Jaden McDaniels, who's a capable 3-point shooter, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who can shoot. Because they have guys that can still shoot.
Yeah, because when Julius Randle is at his best, it takes away from that squad, if that makes sense. I don't like
No, it doesn't.
I think it does because you have other players like Anthony Edwards. I don't like Anthony Edwards on the wing with Julius Randle in the post. Like, I just don't love that fit. I don't know. Like, I loved Cat because Cat could sit corner
and be ineffective in that role.
He was effective sitting corner. I'm not gonna lie.
In some games, but I mean, in the most important series, that's the guy who we're pointing at the whole series.
And I think I just can't wait till. I don't know. I just don't think Julius Randle's going to work. We're going to be on the pod yelling at Julius Randle next summer.
Look, Julius Randle's going to have more bad playoff games than he had good. But you got Dante DiVincenzo now. That's how I look at it from Minnesota. And Karl Anthony Towns is giving you the same thing. Now, and this is the thing too. Karl Anthony Towns is so good that if he goes to New York, he can clean his resume right now when he gets to the playoffs. If he hoops when he gets to the playoffs with New York,
it sucks that he played bad in that series.
He was in Minnesota for 10 years and never showed up.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
He's a first pick. That their most playoff success was last year, and he didn't show up in his 10 years in the most important series. That is enough evidence for me to show that he's not that guy. And Julius Randle has never been that guy, but they're both all-star talents.
I think he played amazing in that Nuggets series.
Okay, we can give him that.
Yeah.
We could probably find a series but that's my point, though. I
don't know.
Out of all these series, and does the Nuggets series really matter? What's the goal for these guys?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because either way, they're both valuable.
Yeah.
For sure. But
I think I don't know if that was matchup because I mean there's a lot of games that Ant struggled and Ant's not the problem. He's your franchise player. He's just gonna be. So I don't know. It's hard to judge.
But Cat apparently shoots 5,000 shots a day.
Like I said, I think it might have been too early to make a move and really. I feel like if you would have completed this year, you would have really figured out your problem.
Yeah.
Because if right now, like you said,
what are you going to figure out? Rudy Gobert still trash?
You had 10. Not that you could have traded right now. I'm talking about the Cat and Ant thing. I still had hope for that. I'm not gonna lie.
See, that's why I think we're miscommunicating because I think I've never thought about that as the problem either. But if you are going to keep Gobert and he is under one of the worst contracts in sports history, I mean, I don't give a damn if you paid him $4.4 million a year. That would be overpaid.
It's overpaid.
But I don't know, bro. It's just we've seen it already. Minnesota. If you want to run it back, you can. But why were we going to watch them run it back when we kind of knew it was going to happen anyway? Yeah. Did you have Minnesota beating OKC or Dallas? Because I sure didn't.
I think they have a worse chance now.
I think they have the same amount, or better chance.
The way the league is going, and this is why I like the pickup of DiVincenzo, but not Randall. The way the league is going with 3-point shooting. I mean, you hear Joe Mazzulla talk about it like, let's get up attempts.
Yeah.
It's literally like, let's just get up attempts. You have a layup, take the 3-point attempt. It's getting to that point with analytics. And I'm big on floor spacing. I think not that Hartenstein isn't going to be valuable because he's going to be very, 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 very valuable for y'all. But I think there will be a point in the season or certain minutes in the playoffs where y'all going to put Chet at the 5, and it's going to be very valuable because you have 5 people who can shoot the 3 ball out there, which scares me.
See, I think that's fine, but
I don't love teams where because you got Anthony Edwards, capable 3-point shooter, Julius Randle, capable, Rudy Gobert,
but there's
Jaden McDaniels, so it's like
he wasn't in the playoffs.
From the 3 ball, like he's not.
He wasn't bad. He was a good shooter in the playoffs. Nickeil Alexander was a good shooter in the playoffs. Don't forget these things.
But like you said with Cat, not in the what's the name series, not in the last series.
But that's mostly on Cat. I mean, your guys got to elevate you to even be hitting those shots. But my thing is too. This is the last time I'm gonna reiterate this. Who is the coach? Chris Finch, right?
Yeah.
Chris Finch. You made this trade. Your front office made this trade. Sit Rudy Gobert's ass on the pine on every single playoff game. Let Julius Randle be your initial screener.
Was he a 5 or a 4?
Play him at the 4. Put Nas in the corner.
Okay.
But if you have Julius Randle, use him as a big body guy to create blitzes because they're going to blitz Anthony Edwards. And let Julius Randle do that. Let that be his role. Let him be off the screen. Let them see what happens then. Because Julius Randle if no one's guarding him, I kind of like him. I like those odds.
Yeah.
Find a way to use Julius Randle in the correct way because he is that talented.
Yeah.
That's why I like this trade. Rudy Gobert is the problem with this trade. He is the problem with the NBA. He is the problem with the NBA in 2021. He is the problem with the French national team and why they lost in the Olympics. That is the only problem with this trade, in my opinion. The fact that he is even close to it.
Yeah.
But you got
all.
anything else?
Nah, that's all. You said that well.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.